The one unchangeable rule of Escape from Tarkov is that we are all going to die in this game a lot. But there are some things that you can learn and implement to help reduce that by as much as possible. Here are 5 mistakes to avoid when playing Escape from Tarkov. The first mistake to avoid is kind of 2 things in one, and it's don't play too slow and don't play too fast. And I know that sounds obvious and like impossible advice to actually implement, but really Escape from Tarkov is all about pacing, learning your environment, learning the maps, and figuring out when you need to play slow and when you need to play quickly. And this applies to every aspect of Escape from Tarkov as well. So in PvP, if you're a solo player and you hear a bunch of people moving in on your location, it's probably a squad, and you don't know exactly where they all are, shift Wing out of your cover directly into them is probably going to be a terrible idea. Playing quick and violence of action and doing all this Chad stuff, well, if you don't know where they all are or what they have or how many there are, you're probably just going to get yourself killed in the game. And even if you watch some of the best players in the world, you'll see that in situations like that, they'll wait. They'll wait for a perfect opportunity to start the engagement by eliminating one of the enemies, and then they'll transition to playing really, really quickly now that the fight has broken out. On the flip side of that, if you're a solo or if you're with a squad and you roll up on a solo player or a duo or a situation where you feel like you have the upper hand, violence of action, running directly into them and then ending the fight before it begins, if you know where they are and you know you can swing a right side peek or something like that. In PvP, it's all about figuring out what your advantage is. And sometimes that advantage is playing slow if an enemy team doesn't know where you are and you can gain information or you can set up a good angle. Sometimes that advantage is if you're a solo player and 3 people or 2 people are clumped up together and they're not playing very well, sometimes that advantage is going to be playing super, super quickly. So as you learn and as you kind of go through your own raids and experiences, try to learn the pacing, try to learn where your advantage is if it's slow or if it's playing quickly. Now, this also pertains to things like loot or quests. Learning the spawns and learning the maps is going to greatly determine how quick or how slow you play a raid. If you're trying to get something in the Shoreline Resort and you spawn all the way on the other side, well, shift Wing to the resort all the way there is probably not a good idea, because by the time you get there, the other people that have gotten there have probably set up, they're going to hear you coming, you're going to be in a worse position, they might be able to shoot at you from a window, probably not the best idea. But if you get the closest spawn and you need to go in there, you probably need to get in quickly and get out. So it's all about learning the maps, learning your environment, and once again, judging what your advantage is going to be based on your spawn point, your proximity to loot or quest items, or what's going on in a PvP engagement. The second mistake to avoid is don't neglect cover. Getting shot in Escape from Tarkov can be really brutal. It's really punishing. You lose all your stamina, you can break a leg and then not be able to run. You can get aim punched even if you are aiming at somebody. So getting caught out in the open is almost always a death sentence because you just don't have anything to do. You don't have anywhere to go. The way that the maps are laid out, make sure you're learning them, but there really is cover, hard cover, kind of everywhere, even in places that you wouldn't think. So as you're pathing your way through the map, make sure that you're kind of taking routes that mean you're always kind of close to cover. Make sure that you have enough stamina so that if you do get shot, you can make it to cover and get behind something so that you can regain that stamina. And then along with the don't neglect cover tip is be aware of left side versus right side peaks. If you are up against a wall or a door or a tree or something like that, prioritizing taking a right side peek is going to be better. If you're leaning to the right, if you're peeking something to the right, only your shoulder and a small part of your head need to be visible for you to get a sight picture. If you're swinging to the left, well, a lot more of your body has to be exposed in order to get your gun across whatever barrier that is and then take a shot, and it's much easier for your enemy to kill you. So if you're taking a flank or if you're just behind cover and have to peek an enemy, be aware and try to take right side peeks whenever possible. The third mistake to avoid is don't loot dangerously, and this pertains to your friends and your enemies. It can be really easy to be overcome by greed and Escape from Tarkov and try to get some loot and try to get some more gear because you're running low on your stash, but you definitely don't want to be looting too quickly or looting in dangerous positions. Escape from Tarkov has and will continue to be more of a squad-focused game. Now more than ever, almost every single person that you fight isn't going to be alone. The golden rule of Tarkov is there's always one more. So if you kill somebody or if your friend goes down, don't go diving on that body immediately. Don't loot your buddy, bro! Now, you can swing this pendulum too far the other way where you spend 20-30 minutes clearing an area, making sure that no one else is there, he didn't have any buddies, and that gives other people time to just chase the shots down and get onto your location, or just other random people to like be going to extract and see you and shoot you. So you kind of do have to ultimately make a decision on when you want to loot, but you don't even have to loot everybody. So sometimes if somebody's in a really bad spot, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and go from the loot, and it's not always going to be good. Don't do it too quickly. But then the other side of that is you don't have to loot everybody. If somebody's somebody's in a really bad position, you've got a quest item on you, you got the kill, that's cool. Maybe you don't need the dog tag, maybe you don't need the loot, you just want to get out of there. The fourth mistake to avoid is don't take every single fight. I know that a lot of times what we see of Escape from Tarkov, whether it's through streamers or YouTubers, especially mid and late wipe, is all these crazy 1v5s, lobby wipes and stuff like that. But especially in the early wipe, PvP is definitely a part of it, and it's definitely kind of the end goal once you get going, but you don't have to take every single fight. I've made many videos about how playing for survivability is going to help you with money, with gear, level up quicker. It's going to help everywhere. So if you're in a position where you don't need to take this fight, if you're in a bad position, or if that's a squad and you're a solo, don't be afraid to just back up, back away from the fight, retrace your steps, keep yourself behind cover, and just get out of there. Oftentimes people will think that you're going for a flank, and they'll kind of hunker down and set up and be prepared for your flank, and you're long gone, and that's a much safer way to go. So ultimately, make sure you're aware of what your goals are, what you're trying to do that raid, and if fighting and PvPing is not part of those goals, you don't have to take every single fight. And finally, the fifth mistake to avoid in Escape from Tarkov is don't box yourself in. Another really good way I've heard this put is create your exit when you enter. There are lots of different rooms or hallways or places to be in Escape from Tarkov where you can be completely boxed in with no exit. There's tons of rooms on Shoreline that you can't jump off the balcony. There's tons of rooms on customs in the dorms or in the fortress, the little stronghold, where you can get in and the only way out is through the door that you came in. That is a terrible place to be when you're PvPing. The enemy squad can call their buddies over, they can throw nades in there, they can just kind of wait you out and hold the angle, and then you're oftentimes put in a really bad position of having to fight your way out of that room or hallway or whatever it is. So as you're moving around, as you're learning the maps, you can't expect to know all this right at the beginning. Just be aware of what you can do. Customs dorms is a great example. So many of the windows you can shoot out or hatchet and jump out those windows. So places where it might look like you have nothing you can do, you can jump out a window, go for a flank or maneuver, and then you start to learn when you can traverse and when you can't traverse and avoid those places or try to push your enemy into those places. But ultimately, what you don't want to do is box yourself in with no exit. That is an easy way to get yourself killed in the game. Now, Escape from Tarkov is a complex game, and there are a lot of mistakes that you need to avoid, but hopefully these 5 help set you up for success. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like a part 2 or something like that. If in addition to trying to die less, you're trying to learn how to level up faster, I actually just did a video on that. You can check that out here. If you like this video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel. I stream Escape from Tarkov 6 days a week on Twitch. My links will be down below. And if you're looking for people to play Tarkov with, our Discord server is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.